Hello friends, welcome back for another growing season. And this year we're going to do things a little bit differently. I need to organize my videos and thoughts for better reflection through the winter. What does well, what doesn't, that kind of thing, especially where they're located. So, hope you enjoy. Let's start it off right here in the north side of the house, in this little corner. These grasses were picked up as a half-dead red ornamental grass from Lowe's, I think. I don't think they're the happiest here. I definitely think they could use a little more sunshine. So, they may be getting moved this year. And these lilies that came from my mother's farmhouse are tiger lilies, or at least tiger day lilies. They're very happy. Look at that. I got a pup. I got another pup over there. I only planted like 3, and I got pups. So excited. Then coming over here to our, well, let's stop here. These guys are super happy. Autumn Joy sedum and mini daylilies. Every time I divide these guys, they double in size. These are grasses that were at the house, so I don't know what they were. And chicken hens from my sister's house are starting to spread. Okay, back to this garden bed. The irises are definitely happy here, even inside my pot. Then here, right up against the log, I've got snowdrops, and they haven't come up like they should be already, but they haven't. But you see, he's starting to. So I don't know if I was lied to and they weren't snowdrops, or if they just needed time to establish themselves. I have columbine I'll be planting here. And then over here is the only other thing I have in this garden. And white yarrow. So I'm excited about him. He's happy. On the other side, the irises are doing good. They've been getting trampled and dug up, but they're still pushing strong. The buckeye tree is great. None of my black-eyed Susans seem to survive over here this winter. But Dame's Rocket did. Then moving on over here. Phone glitching, sorry about that. Grasses that were previously existing. Tulips, no, daffodils, previous existing. A wee sedum pup. Again, Autumn Joy. And then here's more Autumn Joy pups. Irises. And yucca. A big circle of yucca. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that? I'm going to interplant snapdragons and grasses. Alright, take 2 hiding by the car. So these little guys I planted here. There's a bunch of them scattered about. I thought they were daylilies. But, as you can see, they have survived my winter. They have been green all winter. So sadly, I think they're yucca, like him. And I don't know if I want yucca over here. I'd rather daylilies. So I might be tearing all of them out. And if I'm lucky, my sage will go here. But over here, one survivor is my black-eyed Susan. So he survived. So the goal was black-eyed Susan, daylilies, a big smelly bush like sage, which isn't there yet. And then a skinny little pole of a tree. This is my volunteer maple with grape hyacinth. I seeded calendula, which I used to call calendula. So that's a funny one for me. Now this pre-existing garden bed, I haven't really done much to except for remove some tulips. The meadowsweet, the white lilac, those will get moved eventually. But here are yellow irises and the big bearded purple irises. And I saved him, or rather let him grow. I don't know if you can see him, but it's a little baby pine tree. Little baby tree. Meadowsweet, azalea, nannyberry, mulberry. These two will be planted out this year, hopefully. Elderberry, also hopefully planted out this year. Will you? Will you? I can't tell. It's too bright. Broken shingle. But I have false cypress surrounding an azalea. Butchered the false cypress. But they're happy. They're very happy. And I'm not happy. My roof's falling apart. Our strawberries have definitely survived. I was a little worried. My little guild here. Some of them, well, no, actually he survived too. Some of them don't look as happy, but they're survived. The peach tree needs trimmed. I have not gotten a dry enough week to trim him. But he needs to, and I know how to trim him now. Cut my branch just before an outward facing bud at an angle that way so that he sheds water. Any rubbing branches for whatever shape I want. And I want him to be a cone, a vase, a vase, which he's not yet. Hey, looky, that garlic I planted for my guild. Some of it's, ooh, lots of it. Look at all those little spikes of garlic popping up. There's another one. I don't know how much of this you can see. Hopefully you can see a lot. So garlic, strawberry, mint, and a nice little smelly garden going on. I've got to divide him. He's taking over. Like he's all the way over there. Look at that. All the way over there. I don't want my mint that far. He's going to outcompete my coneflowers, my calendula, which I liked here. Ooh, speaking of, lucky, baby calendula. Seeded last autumn, growing early spring. I like that. I will do that next year. Wild and free. I took him out of my grass and planted him here. I forget what he's called. I'll put it on the screen when I remember. My bloody dock sage. Really good, especially this time of year. He's sweeter versus bitter. Should not have planted him there. And a note to self. Bee balm is a mint. Bee balm will spread. He was a tiny little plant right here. Look at this. There's way too much bee balm. I'm leaving them, but there's too much. And look at this. I'm so happy. This is the peony, or one of the peonies from the farmhouse. It's coming back, so he's happy. The other one is over here. Let's see if I can get out of it. And he's very happy. He's very thick and coming up. maybe they'll bloom for me this year. People keep telling me 3 years. If I did not plant him too deep, then in 3 years, he will start blooming again. So cross your fingers for me. And the last in this section is my lemon balm. I got my lemon balm back. So when I plant my hot peppers, which absolutely love this south side of my house, because you are facing north, so the southern sun beats down hard over here. And my peppers love it. So I got to make sure I do not block him. Right outside the gate, we have tulips. There we go. And then I forget what he is, so once again I will post what it is later. The peonies from Mom's house. It's been a couple days since I started this video. Got some storms and lots of rain. Oh yeah. Again, I think that's a yucca, not a lily. So I think I've messed up there. And these are all of my sunchokes. This is going to be their permanent bed. 12-foot tall, beautiful monstrosities. Aiden's giant purple allium. I thought I'd moved these, but apparently I missed a couple tiny bulbs, so they're still blooming. Following along the fence, I have some trash, spare pots, stuff like that. More bloody dock, which is tender, especially with the frost last night, but oh so yummy. Let's see. Beautiful hyacinths. My pawpaws. I do need to start trimming them up this year. They're getting as tall as a 4-foot fence. When I trimmed up my sage, which I think I killed last year, I found some living bits of it. So I planted them over here because I knew it was going to start raining. Walking onions. I just put the little clusters down over here. Oh, that one's a garlic. This is where my garlic was last year. An old picture frame from the farmhouse that was falling apart. It finished falling apart. Some mums I saved from the neighbor's garden. Or trash. The neighbor's trash. This one still amuses me. I used the stick to support some peas. Some pea strings that went all the way up to there. And it's upside down, but it took root and I've got a white lilac now. This sank exponentially, but this was strawberries. Strawberries started from seed. Blackberry, which some of it died back, some of it didn't. So he's trimmed up. Looks good. I think he looks good. I went through and planted some irises back in and around here. I missed some carrots. Somebody got a nice dinner out of that. Not much here. Irises and some onions. This is a challenge for me. It's getting morning sun, but this whole area doesn't get sun, a lot of sun, until May. This back here starts getting it earlier, like it's getting now. That doesn't get sun until like mid-May. So my beans, my black garbanzo beans, did really well back here, from there to like here. But so far they're the only things that have done good. We'll see. I've added lots of compost the past couple years. My redwood, red dogwood, Osier dogwood, yeah, something like that. And the raspberries are very happy in this corner. Nothing else there. Nothing there except for prettiness. My sycamore tree is super happy. Grape hyacinths are blooming. That, where that green trash is a butterfly weed. And then I have a hosta. Good morning again. So behind me is the black lace elderberry. And we moved it from the north side of our patio to here because it's a wetter ground. She didn't take too well to being dug up. Some of it is definitely dead. And I've come out here and trimmed a bit. I thought this branch was going to survive because it had some little buds. But it looks like the buds died again. So I'll be cutting that one off. Otherwise, she is coming back with a vengeance. So I'll have to retrain it to this area. The only other thing over here is some daisies, right about there where the squirrels are digging. Kids play area, some decorations, and all my pots. My compost, that is in dire need of attention. I'm letting all of the beautiful Carolina beauties come up. I love them. I'm so happy there's a bunch over here. And beautifying the compost with irises and more Carolina beauties. They're all over the place. That's almost creepy. Too bad I don't have chickens or quail. In the beds we have the walking onions, the asparagus, which I'm super happy about. Look at the size of that. She's ready to eat. Those guys, not so much, but that's okay. So I'm planting, or starting, more asparagus for here. These guys, since they apparently don't get along with asparagus, will go over there or way over there. I might just eat them and leave those way over there. I've set up where all my tomatoes and peppers are gonna go, but I don't have them in yet, obviously. I do have spinach coming up. I started those seeds a while ago. This wet track, if you can see the wet track, it's from that stick here is beets, or are beets, but they have not shown their little faces. And then in this bed, I've got onions that overwintered from last year, and those. And then I planted my peas, pretty much on every rung. These are snowdrops? No, sugar snaps. Snowdrops, where'd I get that? And these, which look like they're being eaten a little, are purple potted. I believe they're Dutch purple potted. Planted some bok choy in this general area, no row. I have broccoli, and broccoli seeded. I don't know if they've come up yet. My little kale is in a line from that stick, just straight back, and then Mizune from that stick, straight back, and then from that little stick along the board straight back are carrots, which are coming up, and I'm very happy about that. Well, technically all of these are coming up. Zoom in on the cute wee little carrots, a whole line of them. So starting those basically St. Patty's Day has been very efficient. Then again, this past week has been like 70, and today's supposed to be 80. My purple bee balm has come up. I did a general sprinkling seeding of amaranth over here from last year's crop. We'll see if that comes up. Irises I've planted everywhere. I left these up. This was a volunteer, and he's definitely ready for crafts. Oh. I don't know if that's something I seeded or not. Because I also put flax seeds down. So we'll see. Oh, there's some more Carolina Beauty coming up. Then I have a purple grass on both sides. This would be the first winter here. They had really pretty black berries, but they stayed purple all year. And this spot are sneezeweed. I forget what this is called. I'll put a description on the screen. Then all of my black-eyed Susan planted underneath the sycamore tree, which again, this is only a couple years old. He's already given me my first seed pods. So, happy about that. More irises. Trumpet vine. I think I found something that survives my pots pretty good. I don't know if these come back up. Most of these I'll probably have to put description on the screen or name on the screen because I don't remember what they are. They're all new. Not much here. A few flowers are showing their faces. That's a duplicate, but that's a pink one. Some of the lilies are definitely coming up. Since it was cold and wet, I don't think my what are they called? That sword with the flowers. I forget what he's called. I don't think he's coming back this year. He wasn't supposed to come back up last year, but this is bamboo. A pretty bamboo. And some more bulbs. The tiger lily from the farmhouse. My outdoor shower / hose. They are being moved. The husband's moving those. One thing I noticed this spring with all of our rain, this is pooling. I don't think it's much of a problem. It's not killing the grass. So it's slowing down the water flow. Our red yarrow is a beautiful buckthorn. Then they didn't do good, but I guess they didn't do too terrible. I did catch the bunnies coming in and eating him. So, yeah, he's dead. That's tried to root him. He's at least partially alive. If he took root, he's getting moved somewhere drier. More irises. I have a daisy. I think they're daisies. And asters down here with him. They haven't come up yet, but all of this is aster, and it spreads by root, so it'll get bigger. Just like these guys spread by root and are taking over. Look how pretty those great hyacinths are. With the red maple. my lemon's dead. The bunnies are coming in, taking out my crocuses, but I love the grassy look. Now these guys, I like them, but I hate them. I have found that they will choke anything under them. So my bulbs, they were choked out by this thick carpet of creeping Jenny, or the squirrels dug them up. Yeah, it could be one of the two. But the bleeding hearts were struggling coming up, so I ripped back to let them have room. So I will continue to rip back so that they don't get drowned. I think I'm going to do the same here for the crocus and the feverfew. And then these guys are done flowering. I'll show you a picture of their flowers. They're beautiful. And like January, bees were covering them. Alright, we've got buds. And we'll see if I get any more seeds this year. I like my little patio garden here. My beautiful hyacinths all in bloom. Some tulips coming. I have sneezeweed. And then a really happy tall grass. Buckthorn. I absolutely love the buckthorns. And they're coming in. Come join me inside for a moment. So behind me is my wall. It's a wall of green. I have all kinds of fun stuff on here. Thanks to my greenhouse, my tomatoes are well established and ready to go outside now. And outside's not ready for them even though it's 80 degrees. So, note to self, next year I need to start them later, maybe about a month. It is getting too hot, too hot and dry on this patio for these guys. That's what the leaf curl means. Even though I watered them this morning before I went to work and just now. This is comfrey, in case anybody wonders. The rest are tomatoes. I've got my black from Tula, my Roma, some cherry tomatoes. I've got my peppers on here, some scallions, shallots, scallions, things, oniony things that stayed in here all winter. This is a little ground cover I got from the cottage garden. My celosia started from seed a while ago. Can't wait to get those out. Lots of peppers, cayennes, I don't even know what all actually. You're even getting a little sunburn in here. The good thing about this patio though is that it is not a controlled environment. It gets hot, it gets cold, it gets wet, it gets dry. So when the outside is good enough for the tomatoes and peppers to go out, I can just put them right out. These are black goji. They're very happy. False indigo, which I keep playing with. Little garlic experiment down here. This is my pot of bulbs. My hyacinths already bloomed. My tulips are blooming well before the others are ready to go. This was the volunteer from inside. And yo, I got like tomatoes going on there. My ginger. He's already bloomed and moved on. There's another one coming. Sweet Ann, which I got in trade. Some sedum. Some onion. the snapdragons. My poor little house fern. He has some new growth coming on, so I think he's happy now, but he does not look like he's been happy for a while, right? And then over here is the greenhouse. The bloodroot, which I started January, has not come up yet. I had a false indigo in here, and he's still a little green, but he's not actually coming up, so I don't know. Then I just started these guys a couple weeks ago. A toothache plant, a blue Hungarian poppy, pumpkin on a stick. This is rhubarb from Cliffside Permaculture. And I started that last year. So we overwintered in the greenhouse. Well, when I got the greenhouse. Before I got the greenhouse, you just overwinter on the patio. And I think these are Maltese cross, unless they are little volunteers from my compost, which is possible. Then I have the cottage garden flowers that I'll be putting out into the front meadow. I've got oxeye, snapdragons, bee balm, and some nodding onions, which I'll be putting some of these in my garden. The coneflower, I have one that wanted to come up, and I think today's 80-degree weather killed it, which is kind of sad. And my milkweed has not come up yet. And that's from Circus Seeds. But we'll see. Give it time. My milkweed didn't come up immediately when I planted it a couple years ago. It took, God, I want to say it took all year to start. These need in the ground, desperately. Then these guys are from Limestone Vale. She's a neighbor over here. I'm excited about the paprikas, the sugar bush, and some of the other spicy peppers she has given me in seed trades. But that's it for the gardens, inside and out. I do have a few houseplants, but I'm probably not going to go over them. They're a little stressed. Hopefully when it's good and consistently warm, even at night, the houseplants out here on the patio with me, and they will get all the sunshine they need so that they can be well prepared for the coming winter. Yes, I'm already thinking about winter. But thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were a little educated, or at least entertained. Have a great one, and I'll see you next time. 2023 goals. Buckthorn. 1, 2, and 3. This will all be a berry garden. So the horse trough is getting turned. We'll have an arched entryway. And then from here to the shed corner is going to be mulched, and we're going to put things like my aronia, who's very happy and about to bloom. Can you even see that? You cannot. There we go. Aronia is going over there. Mulberry tree is going over there. And my other elderberry. And I have another one of him, the black lace. But I don't know if he's going to be in there or not. So I'll at least have 2 elderberries back here.